the market's clearly shifted. And if you're thinking about selling your home and doing it for sale by owner all on your own, I'm going to give you 4 things to consider that you should think about before you decide to do that, coming up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? We're clearly in a market shift, and now more than ever, if you're thinking about selling your property and considering trying to do it on your own and doing a for sale by owner, I'm going to give you 4 things to think about, because in my estimation, in my recommendation, right now is probably the worst time to be doing a for sale by owner, because you may have seen it in the past 2 years and it was super easy. They just put a sign out front of their house or maybe run an ad on Zillow or something and they find a buyer. But there's some things that you really want to consider when you're in this type of market that has slowed down pretty considerably. Buyer demand is way down, and you may not be setting yourself up to be in the best position to sell your property. So reason number 1 is marketing. When you're in an environment where there are less buyers than there has been in the past, you want to make sure that your property is put out there in the best light. And that means professional pictures, videos, 360 tours, and then having a marketing strategy, and especially a digital marketing strategy. If you're not going to digitally market your property, the vast majority of people are not going to see it. And so you want to make sure that you have a professional involved that's going to help you do that, because we're not in an environment where you can just kind of put a sign out front of your house and then people you're driving by will buy it. And that's definitely not going to get you the highest and best price. So unless you're a marketing expert and you really know how to navigate the digital marketing landscape, you're gonna reduce your exposure to the property and really reduce your ability to sell it to a buyer that may not see it if you just do it for sale by owner. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is negotiation. In a lot of cases, when we deal with a for sale by owner, the buyer comes with a buyer's agent, and they're going to want their buyer's agent involved. Most for sale by owners do offer some type of buyer's commission when they list their house for sale, and so the other side is going to be armed with a professional on their behalf that is going to negotiate on behalf of the buyer. And do you want to be left to your own devices to try and negotiate a 14-page contract that you're not familiar with? I can tell you, you're definitely going to be at a disadvantage, because if that buyer has a smart agent, which most buyers are going to want to select an agent that's going to do a good job for them, they're going to get the best possible terms for their buyer, and you may not know what your rights or abilities are to negotiate during that contract process. So negotiating is super important, and you may lose more money than you would have gained by not paying a seller's agent commission. So negotiation is a big one, and that's reason number 2. Reason number 3 is navigating the process. Anybody who's been through the home selling or buying process knows it's pretty complicated. There's a 14-page contract, there's a 5-page disclosure, there are inspections that have to get done, home inspections, termite inspections, an appraisal has to happen, which now could become an issue. And you may want somebody that knows what they're doing to help you through that process, to prepare and examine an appraisal when it comes back. There are surveys and issues with a survey that may come about that you may need to solve. There are title issues. You have to get a title report and review that. There's a lot of things that happen through the process, and there's a reason why there's a professional that usually is involved that helps that process, and you're going to have to figure all that out on your own and potentially expose yourself to a lot of liability in the future if maybe you don't disclose something that you should have, or you don't provide information that you should have. There's a lot of things to that process that a realtor is going to help you figure out and navigate, and you don't have to take on all that liability by yourself. So navigating the process is reason number 3. And then reason number 4, and maybe the biggest one, which is always the motivation for a seller to do a for sale by owner, is they think they're going to save money, right? If you do, in all the national surveys, 40-50% say that they didn't want to pay a commission, and that's why they sold for sale by owner. But you can look at a lot of different national studies, and the percentage ranges, but it's usually between 10 and 20% less is what a for sale by owner gets when they sell it for sale by owner than what a seller gets when they use a realtor. And so you may be net losing 5 or 6 or 10 or 15% on the sale of your home if you are not marketing it to the highest number of people, not having a professional negotiate on your behalf, and then you may do some, make some concessions during the process when you're navigating the process that loses you money. And so in a lot of cases, you don't save money, you actually expose yourself to a lot of liability, and then potentially lose on the amount that you could have gotten if the property was professionally marketed. So saving money is not always the case. And it's funny, a lot of times when I've talked to a for sale by owner that had done it in the past and maybe is using us now, their main reason for not doing it again is it was such a difficult, stressful, complicated process that it wasn't worth any money that they may have thought they have saved. And looking back, they may not have saved any money at all. So if you're considering selling by owner, I recommend you just reach out, have a discussion, let us explain the process to you, look at your property's specifics and see if it makes more sense. But in this market where we are in definitely a cooling off market, a market where buyers have significantly slowed down their activity, you're not going to have 25 buyers coming through on the first day and making you 10 offers. It's just not happening across the board, even with professionally marketed properties. It may take a couple of weeks, a month, but you're going to give yourself the best opportunity for the highest and best price by using a professional and getting a realtor involved. So if you have any questions, as always, put them in the comments below or email me at dylan@buybigisland.com. And if you want to book a meeting, you can always do that in the link below. And I would always appreciate a like or subscribe to the page. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Aloha.